Bitch, I'm so cold, I can freeze the whole night. Save me, save me. Moving too fast, I'ma crash right now. Maybe, maybe I don't come around for that ass right now. Drive you insane, yeah, no, I got some mileage. Blowing up my phone line, but you know
Think About It.
Okay.
Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah, so I actually have a funny, I guess funny subjective. So that's like probably my favorite or second favorite song by you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And that video that we just released 2 weeks ago, I've been writing it on and off for about like the last like month or two.
Uh-huh.
And I had a line in that song that I wrote, and I was like, okay, cool. You write music, so like when you think of something, and like something kind of like in the back of your head is like, okay, this sounds familiar. Who said it?
Yeah.
And then you ask people, whatever, and for the life of me, I couldn't figure out what.
Yeah.
So when me and him are talking about, getting you on and stuff, I'm like showing him music and stuff. I play Think About It, and there's a fucking line in there that I didn't say verbatim.
Yeah.
But you say, I rip my heart out because I like the way it feels.
Yeah.
And then my dumbass puts in this song, I rip my heart out just to see if I could feel.
Yeah.
And I fucking didn't notice it until literally today. And I was like, bro, I can put this in because I kind of wanted to like apologize on camera. Like, bro, I had no fucking clue,
bro,
that was
it's
a
totally
thing
fine.
until today.
It's totally fine. Like, but it's good though. It's good that like when you are inspired by something, and and it bleeds onto your work.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to let that person know. You know what I mean? Like, even if like say, like, for me, for example, like when I see like certain like reels and I see how like the format looks, you know how like now with like artists, the common thing is they're performing to their song, and then there's like words on top of it, like subtitles, and those subtitles are usually colored like big letters, like green, yellow, whatever.
Yeah, I see a lot of yellow.
And I was like, I should do that. And I started doing that more often, and then I was like, all right, the little white text is not working. Let's do green. Let's try making the text bigger. Yeah. And once I made the text bigger, it started popping off. And then next thing you know, immediately I know this for a fact, because this can't just be a coincidence. I'll see like other artists who follow me, who I've suspected in the past to see a lot of my shit, whether it was visual stuff or even music, and take stuff like lines or song structure or some visual element, and in this case it's the entire format, and I'm like, okay, I've seen I've been following you for a long time. How is it coincidentally that I start doing this? You see my stories, you never engage with any of my shit, you never hit me up, you're like a stranger in public, and then next thing you know, it's like this is your whole thing.
Yeah, we should have saved this for the video. You're going off.
No, we could just start like that, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
but
we'll start with that.
So the very first time I heard that song is when me and him saw you perform at I think it was SKYLARK.
Yeah, it was SKYLARK.
And you fucking when you performed it, you fucking killed it, obviously. So I went to, I have Apple Music, so I went to Apple Music, I looked you up, I listened to that song. Set It Off is like my other favorite.
Oh yeah.
Me personally, no offense to him, I didn't like the rap verse on there.
The other guy.
But I thought it was cool. Like it doesn't make me like not like the song. I didn't think that the vibe matched.
It made sense.
But that song in general, did you do the vocal sampling? Or where did that come from?
So the vocal sample in the chorus was from what do they call it?
Like a pack of some sort.
Yeah. And then I just chopped it up to fit the key. So all the music that I make all the beats on. So everything you hear that I ever like record on, those are all my beats I make from scratch. And then and it's funny, you're not the first person to tell me that
you
the homie
really make all your beats.
All of them.
That's so
all
fucking crazy.
Yeah, from scratch.
I love that shit, bro.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you're not like the first person to tell me about like the homie on that song. You're like, oh, like when I was working on the song, And I was like, I need a feature on the song,
Get the wolves next time. No,
I was like, I need somebody to go in on the song, somebody that can sing and rap. And I had a lot of homies that on my mind to do it. And then I was like, Janitor, like that artist Janitor, he, like, even though like you may not be feeling that verse, definitely check out his discography. He's so fucking talented. And and I had people tell me like, I don't think he makes sense on that song. But like to each their own.
Sorry to interrupt you. When he started singing, quote unquote, I don't know if he would call it that, so that's what I would call it. When he started singing towards the end, I like that. It was just when he was like
just the verse,
clouded, prouded, whatever. Just like the way he like rapped. I didn't think it fit, but I like that song. I loved it. I played it in the car all the time. Like, the production, like you said, you did it yourself, so I fuck with it.
No, for sure. And it's crazy because like in the beginning I thought that song, just because like what you were telling me right now, you're not, like I said, you're not the first person to tell me. I've had like a few other people tell me that too. And then after I dropped the EP back in February, that ended up being the most popular song, and people were asking who was this guy, because he was almost kind of like a secret character. He was like an unlock, like he like you had to unlock this character. But that's how it is. There's sometimes like you hear some songs, like I'll be like on Spotify playlist, and then like you'll hear a song, you're like, I fuck with this song, just not this verse on this person. But like it's still tolerable at the end of the day.
Yeah, which it was. I'm sure people have said the same thing about us. So,
but it's good though. That's good though. Like
I hope not.
Like
fuck does it? But
I like hearing all. I like hearing all this.
I'm him, bro. I'm that guy. They probably say it about me, bro. That's why. But I love that shit though, and we'll get into it. That's what we're gonna open up with.
No, we'll keep the whole shit in. I just said I would apologize on camera.
No, I know, but I thought we were going to play opening music and shit.
I would in editing.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll just do it in editing.
Okay, yeah. All right. So we're keeping this?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Just fucking, we'll run with it, dude.
Yeah, okay. Well, okay, so hey, that's me, bro. Yeah. Honest to God, bro, people probably say that about me, but that's what I like about it. To me, that's the hunger I like. When we're doing songs, bro, they probably say that about us, Justin. Oh, Andrew's verse wasn't as good, right? But then that made me better. Nowadays, I don't think they can say that now. Back in the day, for sure, bro. There was probably a lot of people who said, oh, Justin was the better rapper. But like now, I don't. Obviously, I still think he's better, right? But like now, I'm not weak. They're not calling me weak anymore, bro. So that's,
but it's those criticisms, and it's like you choose how to take it. Like because when I did that album, the Somewhere EP, the orange cover, all the songs that have Think About It and Shipwrecked, people were like telling me like, oh, this guy, like he's not a rapper, he sucks. It's like, and I never was ever like brought up in conversations. And then when I'd go hang out with like other rappers, Jay Fitty and his homies and them, it was just like I was never in the conversations of like oh, he's a rapper, he's like a rapper.
Does that bother you though? Does that bother you? Okay, like so there's like artists and then there's like MCs, right? Does it bother you that you're not brought up in the MC conversation?
Well, not yes and no. So like in the beginning, like around that time, I was like, man, I got tired of just like like I was appealing, like I felt like a lot of the music was like appealing to girls, but you know how girls are, man. Like you're like the center of the attention, like for like a week in their lives. Like, oh my God, yeah, Bad Bunny. Yeah, and
they're the biggest music buyers too. So
right, and then it's like they're on to the next thing. So it's like guys usually are stuck on something like lifelong, and but then I started noticing, I was like, man, a lot of homies, like a lot of guys are not really digging into the shit. It's like I can rap, and then it's like I can sing, but it's like I can also make songs. So I was like, in the second project, I'm like, okay, I gotta rap. Like I gotta just like go in the booth and just like no effects, because like Jay Fitty, he came into for that song "Pay Me No Mind." Was like the first song I actually like.
I love that song, dude.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. That was the first song like I actually like rapped on, like no effects on the vocals. I mean, obviously on the chorus, but like the verse was just straight like.
Do you think that you did that because he brought that out of you, or?
Yes, 100%, because it's like that's just like the power of like collaboration in person, man, because it's like you think like you can have it all down to the T, but then when you see how other people work, you're like, huh, you know. And it's like either you can incorporate like what they do into your own work, because like and chances are they'll do the same thing, and then you guys will bounce off of each other, and it just grows and grows and grows.
Well, because like when we make music, you know, somebody will try to do a song with us or vice versa, and we'll try to cater to that person's style. So I was asking, like, you know, Jay Fitty, obviously, we've worked with him before. He could rap. So like when you went on a song with him, you're like, hey, I gotta match his energy, his style.
Exactly. So he came over to the house. So I invited him over to the house. I have a whole studio set up in my house. Yeah. And I was like, hey, bro, you should just come through. He comes through. This was way back in May. We recorded that song back in May. I made the beat back in March. And so we've been talking about it for some time. And so he comes over on a Sunday. And then, you know, I didn't record my verse that day. You know, I was still a little self-conscious.
He recorded his verse that day?
He recorded that day. He had it all said and done. So I was like, all right, let's go. And I was like, do you record with vocals or do you record with effects, like reverb, nothing? And he's like, no. He's just like, just straight raw, just straight fucking raw. No rubber on the fucking track.
That's what we do. I just like we just straight before.
No,
we don't
I mean
even
we do like reverb, equalizing, like small stuff like that. But nothing like to the level of your production that I'm pretty sure you do, like doubling and panning. And
like that's usually like after, but like. When I go in, it's like on my vocals, I always have to have like EQ, like the saturation, you know, like all the shit. And then like when I saw Jay Fitty just go in the booth and just like disregard all that shit, it like unlocked something in me. I was like, you know what? I can do this too, you know.
Yeah, we're like, this guy's a fucking gladiator.
We're rap sayings, bro. I tell James that all the time. Like, we're rap sayings, bro. Like, seriously, I view it like that. Like, I'll view it like Justin's like Goku or some shit, right? And like when we're training in the time, and he, okay, cool, kick my ass. So I'm getting right back up, bro, powering up, dude.
Right.
Yeah, that's what it is, dude.
And it's crazy. So I also have a homie, and he sings. His name's Litos Wilson. Shout out to you, Litos. So he makes melodic songs. He sings. But like when
did he perform with you at SKYLARK? I remember you brought someone up to perform with you. I don't remember what song.
Yeah, that was him.
Yeah,
the Hispanic dude.
I couldn't tell at the time.
Yeah,
it was like 11 o'clock at night. We were.
Did you know the guy from he was like the first performer? What was his name? Waffles. What was his name? The guy who was like Deshaun Watson.
I don't remember.
Oh, those guys.
Do you know him?
I know of it's was Entendres and Waffles. I know of those guys. We, you know, it's like a high school, like we see each other in passing, head nod, and then like, you know, it's just cordial. It's never really like anything else. But you know, I have respect for the guys, but I've never really delved too deep into their stuff. So.
Back to your friend. You were talking about
Oh yeah. So Litos, so he makes like melodic songs, and then when he goes in the booth, I'm like, do you record with like reverb and shit? He's like no. I was like, no auto tune. He's like, no. So like he's sitting next to me, serenading this fucking like beat, no like just nothing, and I'm just like, first Jay Fitty. Now Litos, I was like, man, I fucking suck. Like, I need to just go in the booth and like really like, because I was relying on like auto tune, I was relying on the reverb, on the delay. I'm relying so much on these effects, you know. And then like,
it sounds good. You're not doing anything wrong. Like the formula is not broken, I would say.
Yeah. But like it taught me like to like really fine tune everything, you know, because it's like you know, so ever since I witnessed these guys like in my home studio just do their thing, like I learned a lot from them, you know. And you know, stylistically, you know, I've worked with these guys on songs, so it's just like it only made sense. So you know, and
I'm actually glad you and Justin, I'm glad you guys are talking about this, because like I don't know, he's the one that edits our music. So like the way you guys are talking right now is kind of like cool, you know what I mean? Like, sorry, I just come with bars, you know what I mean? Yeah. This is like the technical, you know what I mean? When it comes to like the music editing, that's funny, bro. Yeah. No, I added a song idea for the future. Maybe like we can get like you, James on it, me, Justin. I wanted to do a song called the Justice League.
The
Like
Justice
all
League.
or the Avengers, right? Like I'll be like Nick Fury gathering all the superheroes on planet Earth to do like a big fucking song.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, Justin, that would be, yeah, you'd be one of the people I'd choose, dude. So maybe
Okay.
that's a future idea we can kind of work out if you guys are interested in that one.
For sure.
We were mentioning local rappers like on and off camera, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to ask you something. What is something that you think kind of hurts the local rap scene from around here? Like, what in your opinion? What is something that?
Oh my god. Okay, it's the same generic response when artists in Seattle or just Washington in general are always asked by interviewers. They're always asked, like, what does the scene need, or what is great about the scene, or this, or what is missing? It's always like some variation of that question.
Mm-hmm.
And the response is, even when I was like a younger kid, man, I'm 27. So even when I was first getting into rap, like at like 10 years old, 11 years old, and when I'm first like, like taking notes of like what's going on in the culture. And
you made me feel old, but I'm just turned 30 this year, so.
You're good, man.
Yeah, man.
30's the new 21.
That's what they say, bro.
30's the new 21. Like
say,
our bones don't agree, but
Hey, sometimes, yeah.
it's all good, bro.
My nephew can jump from like the top of the stairs to the bottom. Like, hey, bud, I can't do half of that. I can't do half of that anymore. If I try to do what he just did, I don't know if I'm waking up at kneecaps.
It's like the first, if you skip one of the steps, you're like, fuck. I gotta sit down.
This guy's literally at the top, just like Supermaning it and like landing. I'm like, dude, not anymore, dog.
I was doing that shit too, like fucking landing on my fucking ass and shit, and breaking my tailbone. But so coming back to that, so like when the interviewers would ask them, all the responses are always the same fucking shit. It's always, we need to come together and we need to stop the hate. We need to stop this. And it's like, bro, why does everybody fucking say that? Because it's like, at some point, it should have just been changed. There's something should have just, there's so many fucking artists, but like the thing is like, we're all fucking like fighting to put our CDs in the same fucking slot. It's the same fucking venues. You know what I mean? Like a lot of these venues, they're not hard to fucking attain and get to. As long as you have some bread or somebody, it's easy to get on. These radio stations, same thing. I
feel like everybody just wants to be like the first Drake from here or something.
It just seems like it's true.
Like they want to, like, I think that's why a lot of people won't share each other's music or help each other out or collaborate.
Yeah.
Because like, why would I help you get famous or big if I'm not going to get there?
Because like, right, there's not a lot of avenues for artists to really succeed here, So it's like, and we hear it time and time again. So everyone will say, oh, we need to stop hating one another. And it's like, okay, all the artists, look, we stop hating each other. Then what? There's never like a follow up. What I've been telling people is we need more venues and we need more media outlets. Well,
there is Hip Hop Seattle.
Still, but it's like nowadays I feel like when they were first coming out, every post meant something. Everybody was like engaged, but then you see now it's like the only posts that really get any traction are like super popular artists. The up and coming artists, like their posts get ignored.
Are you talking about that page specifically, or just in general?
Just like the page. I
reached out to one of the guys who runs it. I've had him on our show before.
Yeah,
I went to high school with him. Which, by the way, talented guy, but
yeah.
I kind of reached out to him and I was like, hey, I spoke about your guys' page recently on one of our podcasts. I just want to let you know that I spoke about it just to kind of give you a heads up. I don't think I said anything negative. But I basically was talking about like the paid for post situation that they were doing.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think that might have been a contributing factor to what you're talking about. Because like now if I see someone's post, I just automatically assume they paid to be on there.
Right.
But they have so many followers and stuff that I think it's cool that they did that. Like like when you and James got posted on there, like I I liked it. I was like, oh hell yeah.
Yeah, no.
So just there's certain people like he was mentioning to me like the whack people.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, yeah, you guys paid to be on there, bro. Like, you know what I mean? But
there's definitely a lot of whack people.
But like they paid to be put on a platform where they look whack as fuck. Sorry, but like
but like, you know, like, and I was telling, and like I remember I was on Twitter and I was telling people, I was like talking about this very exact thing. How there needs to be more venues. Think about it. If a lot of the artists, especially when artists like from here start getting big, it's like, oh, do they still live in Washington? They're like, no, they left to fucking LA or some other country.
Lil Seeto is one of them. He fucking lives in Wedison, Mississippi or some shit. What did he say in his?
I don't think that was due to his fame though. The interview that I watched, he did say he lives out there, but the majority of the time that you see like an Instagram post from him, it's always like California connected. He's out there with Blueface, he's out there with YG,
and he's wearing like
he's
LA
down in
gear.
Dizzler, like, you know, just all California connects.
Right.
Out of Washington just never gets.
It almost seems like that's like the thing. It's like you pop off here, you get like some like hate, or it's usually a hate train. And then you take it to LA, and then you have to like do something big. And then in this case for Lil Seeto, he ran with like all this fucking like just eyes and like, you know, people saying things about him. Took it to LA, did the Fizzler, you know, what was it? The Cypher. And but I think that was smart, you know, like even though you know, everybody might say whatever about the kid. It seems like that's just kind of like the tried, what do they call it? Tried and true formula? Is that the phrase?
Yeah, I mean, bro, I had more hope for him, man. And not that, like, so rap-wise, I'm not shitting on him rap-wise or, like, that he has a good career now. Like, I'm proud of him and happy for him, right? But, like, I'm looking for the first person that gets put on from here that's actually proud to be from here, that actually can rap. Now, I'm like, when I say that, like, obviously there's a Macklemore, but I don't really consider him what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So that segues into something that I was going to ask you.
Go
So
ahead.
I'll take the hand off
Okay.
that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
So when somebody like him gets famous, Macklemore, a lot of people, myself included, you're happy because it's somebody from Seattle that, you know, gets that recognition, brings eyes to the city. But then there's the yin and yang of it, where that sound doesn't represent what's really going on here, right? If you look at it like Macklemore's sound, I don't know a single person myself that makes music like he makes that music.
Yeah.
So like, is it really a good representation of who we are? And then that goes into Lil Seeto today. If you ask me, my personal opinion, he sounds completely like California, their whole rap scene, their sound, to the beats, the flow and delivery of himself, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So like, I'll ask you, do you agree with that
sentiment?
Do you agree with that sentiment to where like those like two artists, Macklemore and him, really give us a good representation of who we are as a music scene?
Oh, out here.
Yeah.
Out here.
And then my follow-up that you can probably try to answer off that is, do you think you have kind of a uniqueness to yourself that kind of represents Washington?
Yeah. Okay. So for the first question, so it's crazy because like with Macklemore, like I look at them as like and Lil Seeto, I imagine them like almost like. Are you guys familiar with Chow from Sonic Adventure? The Chow?
Yeah, sorta. Yeah.
Okay, so you know the Chow, like so. There's like the light Chow and then the dark Chow.
Yeah.
So like Macklemore is like the light Chow, and Lil Seeto is like the dark Chow. You know what I mean? But it's like, but respectively though. And what I mean from that, it's like Macklemore represents kind of this like happy-go-lucky sound, you know, and especially around that time, that was like that was just like this thing here, you know.
He appeals to liberal type people like fucking crazy in Seattle, bro. No offense to him, but yeah.
No, like I was thinking, I was like, it's like wine mom like accepted music, you know, and then it's like, and that's the thing. There's a lot of artists in Seattle, like you'll see that, like whether it's like pop or rap music, like they'll though it seems I'll just be like, oh, this shit sounds like some wine mom. Like this is some wine mom. Like she wants to be a little edgy, but like it doesn't. But like as long as like it doesn't go too far, it's okay.
She's like, I listen to rap.
Yeah,
I
right,
listen to
right,
Macklemore. Yeah.
right. And then it's like Lil Seeto is like kind of bred off of like this underground sound, even though it's like may not be, and then within the underground here, it's like, in this day and age, like, because like I listen to a lot of the music out here, and I feel like he's pretty representative of like what he hears of like other artists that he's a fan of from around here, or
That's a good example, bro.
and it's like that's really it. But and the thing is, at the end of the day,
He's like Kirby, dude.
the thing is with both of those guys, they're white. So it's
They
like
both have the same believability factor to me.
but the thing is they're both like almost like anomalies, because it's like it's like you have to have like this what the fuck do they call it? What do they call it? The movie Nope. Did you guys see the movie Nope?
I fucking love Nope.
We
dude.
literally just talked about it. No, I have not. And I didn't say Nope again. So.
Listen,
James, dude, you heard him.
The first time I saw it, I was like, "What the fuck is this?" But like, kind of after like I dug into Reddit and broke down like theories and shit, I was like, "I fuck with this movie now."
It's a good movie, dude.
But what do they call it though? Like
And you got a jean jacket on. Everybody, dude, let's go. The UFO's called jean jacket. Let's go, dude.
But what do they call it when a spectacle? The thing is, with those two artists, Macklemore and Lil Seeto, they were essentially just spectacles, because it was kind of like Macklemore when he popped off. It was like, oh my god, he's making songs about the thrift store. Like, wow, this is different. This is new. And it's like Wine Mom approved, and it's like, and then the underground, it's like. And it's like you have all these other characters in the underground. Like I know you guys are pretty big fans of like other underground artists. I've heard you guys speak like by name, like you said, Make a Million and
Mike Jack, South. They're like kind of our
local
favorites.
Right. And then
J King, Zuda Gang, those type of people.
And think about it, like they are very representative of like the underground sound here. But then when you have someone like Lil Seeto, who essentially again is an anomaly and a spectacle, because again, he's white. Macklemore, white. They're both spectacles. Had it been like black guys making those songs, like a song about the thrift store, it wouldn't have hit the same. And then like the shit that Lil Seeto says in his songs, it wouldn't have hit the same. It would have just been like another day.
Because he kind of looks like just like my little brother. Like just put on like a basketball jersey and just started saying gun bars. Like my little 14-year-old brother, like yo, I got the gun, yo. Like that's kind of what it reminds me of.
But like regardless though, at the end of the day, it's like they are anomalies, because it's like they shouldn't exist. It's like isn't that the definition of anomaly? It's like you shouldn't exist in an environment that you're in.
Yeah. Basically. And
So-
Mosey's kind of like that too. Mosey's like. I kind of joked around one time. He's kind of basically white, but
Yes, and that too, and like with him, what I've like theorized is that like he was kind of like at the forefront of like these kids, because think about it, kids rapping about like fucking, doing drugs, killing people, and then just like
it was kind of like peak SoundCloud era,
right? And the fact that kids were actually making money off the kids before 18 years old.
they're making millions.
Yeah,
So
like
they were
Lil Pump, Smoke Perp, Mosey. I can probably like name off a bunch of them. They were like all under 18,
right? And
doing this.
So they're anomalies.
Yeah.
So then like Lil Mosey come popping off. Like think about it, his music video for I forgot what the fucking song was.
Was it Blueberry Fuego? Or was
But
it his
before
very
that,
first
when
one?
he was like 16, it was on a channel called Elevator. Are you guys familiar with?
Just-
Yeah,
what's
it
the
was
song
the
name?
video that Young Tada did for
Right,
him.
right.
It was called Pull Up.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And he was like smoking in the shed. So like think about it. He wasn't. It's the same thing. You're an anomaly, because it's like you're a kid rapping about all these things, and then historically kids weren't rapping about this type of shit.
Yeah.
You had Little Romeo and fucking
Lil Mouse and shit.
well, Lil Mouse. Okay, look. See, but Lil Mouse like came in during like he's an anomaly too, but it became popularized like around that time because you started, like you said, Lil Pump, and then all these other characters started coming in, popping off like before they were fucking 18 and shit. So, but like the thing is, it's like Lil Seeto is just continuing that trend of these anomalies. So it's like if Macklemore is just gonna be this like this white guy talking about like things that weren't, or like that like I don't know, were off field, and then and then Lil Seeto talking about the things he does, and then like everyone's always going to critique their appearance. It's just their anomaly.
It's like literally the polar opposites almost.
And then the thing is, it's like because they received so much fucking hate in the beginning, it's like I almost look at it as like if you're getting so much fucking hate, you have one or two things. It's either you fucking leave or you stop, or you take that hate and you manifest it into something greater. That's how I feel like that's how like every celebrity is like formed nowadays.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
you know.
A lot of hate meals.
And then if you have like a lot of love too, if you're an artist from like say here and you have a lot of fucking love, it's like you almost just stay stagnant in your career. You're just here, or it's like. And sometimes I've noticed like artists will just leave. Like I've always see people talking about Gifted Gab, but I know she lives in what, LA, right? Like I don't think she lives in Seattle, does she?
No, I don't think so. No.
Or like Dave B. Like I was pretty into his stuff, but then it's like
Mike.
Well, they might not live here, but I think they frequent the state or the city, I guess, more than Seeto or.
Like I thought it was cool that
Mosey.
Mike got that.
But the thing, but that's the thing though. It's easier for them because they didn't build their career off of hate. Everyone that built their career off of hate, they gotta go because it's like, it'll just be like another situation, like another X situation or another
like Nipsey.
Yeah. Right, it'll be another situation like that.
Before we get off the Macklemore topic, one of the things I fucking hated, bro, I still hate to this day. Like, you'll never catch me doing this shit, but when he won the Grammy for Best Rap Album, and he's like, fucking, I texted Kendrick saying sorry, and I'm sorry for being white, winning an album over you, and I was like, bro, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Just, I think Kendrick felt uncomfortable about it too, honestly. When Kendrick's like, oh, this guy texted me the next day, like he kind of, and it's almost like, bro, what? Like just like be happy. Like, okay, do it behind the scenes, but you have to go publicly and say like, hey, I'm sorry for winning Rap Album of the Year. And like, bro, you made us look hella dumb, dude.
It was crazy because I remember at that time I was really like proud, like regardless, like of all the things said about Macklemore, I did like that album. I did like all the singles. I was like, damn, this is unique, and for it to be coming out from here, man.
Yeah, it's just kind of like a win for, I don't want to say us because we just talked about how he didn't represent us, but as it kind of was like for the music scene, like somebody from here literally just won a Grammy.
It was cool because it's like, even though like maybe the first album, that initially like skyrocketed his fame, may not have been everybody's cup of tea. We all grow into it, you know what I mean? Like, like people like Kanye, like I like his records, but like I didn't really get into it until like graduation. The first two records, I just feel like they're cool, they're okay, but I didn't start like fucking like loving his shit until graduation, and so it's like, so I kind of like look at it like that, but when he did win the Grammy, I was like pretty happy, but then when the aftermath of all that stuff coming out, like the text, I was like,
yeah, why'd you like, bro? I don't know, man. Like, this is kind of when I say you don't represent the rap scene, because like rappers don't maneuver like that, in my opinion. So I know I'm sounding like really old schoolish and like battle rapish and stuff, but like I'm really.
You ever see the meme where it's like old man yells at the cloud?
That's kind of what I feel like I'm doing now. But like I really love rap, bro, and like I love like the art of it, and so I don't know. That was like corny to me when he did that. So. But
so
I mean,
on the topic of representation, okay, and I know that I asked you this, so I'll follow up with it.
Oh yeah.
If you listen to like New York music, they have a very distinctive, especially right now. They have like the drill, with like the samples and stuff.
Yeah.
Chicago invented the drill, so like Chicago has their own. California, like I said, they have their own style of music that I think Lil Seeto sounds exactly like.
Okay.
Does Washington
have a sound.
Do we have that yet?
Like a
'Cause
sound.
as far as like our representatives, Macklemore, Mosey, Seeto, all three of them sound completely different. But yet there are, you know, our pioneers of, you know, mainstream Washington. Do we have that? And if we don't, do you think that your music is like something that, you know,
that stands out?
Say you blew up tomorrow. Do you think that, like, you know?
I told you that earlier today. I thought you were really, really different from a lot of people that I've.
Yeah. Thank you. Oh, thank you for that.
But I mean that in a good way, though.
No, for sure. Thank you. As far as representation, it's just hard, man, because it's like with Washington, it's like it's just a big melting pot, and it's like everybody wears their influences on their sleeves like religiously, and with somebody like Macklemore, I feel like he has his own thing going on because it's like that. It's just that, you know, nobody's like willing. It doesn't seem like anybody else is willing to make that thing, and I feel like we have too many characters where it's like. Say the underground, I feel like the underground will say whatever is like the sound within the underground. There's always going to be a huge like community behind it, and then other artists who want to build upon that sound, you know what I mean, or work within it, you know, and you see it every single year. And then
I guess that kind of attests to what I was just saying though, because Macklemore, Mosey, Seeto, they all sound completely different.
Right.
What you're saying is everyone here is kind of just.
I feel like
different.
the only people that has like I feel like the real like most representative sound out of Washington and Seattle is really just the underground, because it's like it's always like if there's a sound that is very. Just go on like Real Clip. Are you guys familiar with Real Clip? Just go on their like YouTube channel or like Friendly Fire on their YouTube channel, and like that's the sound of Washington. That really is the sound of Washington, you know. And then everything else is just kind of like.
I feel like Townie and T used to be. Well, maybe they still do it, but they kind of
like
captured the sound.
Yeah, I think that's a good. Like a lot of the, you know how you were talking about media earlier. Washington's media, in my opinion, I could be completely off, but this is what I think. I think that Washington's main source of media are people who shoot the music videos around here. You have like the Real Clip, you have Monsanto Bros, you have Townie and T, you have Friendly Fire, Young Tyler, like all the people that just shoot the music videos for everyone here.
Yes,
yeah,
and I feel
like our peak media.
I was just talking about this too. Okay, so. I'll build up on this and then I'll answer your other question. So, on this, it's like all these guys have the ability to like, it's like, sure, you shoot music videos and, you know, vlogs and like just promo material. But think about it. It's like, once you have that like big like following like these guys do, it's like, and then you go on their page now, they're sharing like Seattle news and whatnot. And so it's like the next thing is like a podcast, man, or like that. I feel like that's the next thing, you know, because it's like you already have so many eyes on you. The next thing you can do is like a podcast, because it's like, and then that brings a lot more like, you know, like traction to not only your brand, but to the artist. And then like, you know, it's a win-win situation. Like look at like WPOB. They're literally the hands down the biggest like media platform.
Yeah, there's probably a fuck ton of media platforms I've missed. That was just me spitballing, but
right.
One of them as well.
And WPOB, like, you know, like, and love them or hate them, it's like they are literally the biggest. Every day I can't go past without seeing somebody sharing a WPOB post, you know. And it's like, if they got into, you know how like Hip Hop Seattle, at least, you know, with them, they made an effort to go into podcasts and like interviewing artists and shit. And around that time, you know, before I was like putting out music, like professionally, I was looking up to that. I was like, yes, I'm going to get on this. I'm going to get on that. You know, that was like the goal I wanted to acquire. But they, you know, obviously it's simmered down over the years.
For a while, I actually told him about that. I said, hey, what happened, bro? Like, you stopped posting after, like, for a while.
Right.
I think a lot of the pandemic just kind of halted a lot of people.
Right. And, like, I feel like WPOB, you know, like, listen, WPOB, you guys are fumbling the fucking bag. Get into that media, like, podcast shit, man, and start interviewing artists and just like local people, man, because that's the next thing you guys got to do. Street interviews and podcasts. That's what you guys got to get into, man. If you guys can get into that.
I think a street interview series for them would that would be super beneficial.
Right, and that's like the new thing too. Like, well, I mean, that's always been a thing, but like that, you see, like, I can't go on TikTok a day on TikTok or Reels without seeing like some sort of like street interview, you know, with the phone and shit.
Those are big on TikTok, dude.
Right, so it's like I feel like you know, those are missed opportunities. I'll see people pop up here and there in Washington here, but it's like, you know, it's like only time will tell how much bigger their brand will go, but they're on the right track and I support it, you know what I mean? But to answer your question earlier about like me, myself, it's like what I was saying, like with Macklemore, you know, it's like he has his own sound and it's like nobody's going to try to replicate it. Like,
yeah,
you know, but some like Lil Mosey though is different because literally you had so many fucking clones like of Lil Mosey, you know what I mean? I'm not going to say any names, but it's like, you know it when you hear it and you're just like, fuck, you know, and it's like, you can't be living in the shadow of this person forever, you know? Dude. And especially if they change their sounds, it's like you're going to be known as the guy living in that person's shadow forever.
Yeah,
but
I mentioned it. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
No, I mentioned this before, but he really fumbled his career too, bro.
Mosey?
Yeah, with the whole R word allegation. Like that really like... That's another thing. People need like a better like support team around them or something, bro. Because like that's what I was saying. Like when it comes to rap, I just want to rap.
Right.
I just want to make good music. I'm not trying to do all the hoes and the money and like money's good. Sorry, everybody.
I mean, I'll take the money and I'll take the hoes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, like, maybe one hoe. But nah. I sounded really fucking weird. No money, no. What I meant was like,
you don't want to be blinded by all that
side stuff. Right?
You don't want to be blinded by all that, right?
Yeah, I'm not trying to like. Yeah, I sounded really fucking old there, didn't I, dude? Sorry, my bad, I sound bad.
No, it's okay. It's
cut the lights off. Cut the lights off.
We're going home.
Yeah, you. So okay, like a good one is, we started off doing that. That was like our goal here. We wanted to interview artists, get the local scene represented. Yeah. Show light to a lot of stuff that we liked. Yeah. Then we kept dealing with a lot of unprofessional people, just like side politics we didn't like. So I was telling Justin like, hey, let's grow the show beyond that. And I was like, hey, I got an idea. Like, we cover like popular topics and like kind of do stuff outside of that, but we still come back to interviewing artists and people. Yeah. And that's why you said earlier you saw something about Reels or TikTok. That's why I clip all of my stuff and put that on TikTok and Reels and Shorts.
There's Reel Clip it's a brand.
No, he was talking earlier off camera about Reels.
Instagram.
Yeah, he said he saw me on Instagram.
I thought he was talking about how you just mentioned Reel Clip. Okay.
No. No, but so that's another thing those people should start doing too, besides the interviewing artist thing. Like, to grow your brand bigger, TikTok Shorts and all that you're getting seen by like millions of people who don't know you.
You know who I feel like who does pretty good with that? Are you guys familiar with the NAST podcast? NAST. So I guess they interview more so artists that like are actually like in the Seattle, like that live in Seattle. Like more so
it's something from here.
Yeah.
Okay, I've never heard.
And then every time this dude posts, I remember like when he was posting like maybe a couple of years ago, it was just like wasn't getting traction, but his shit has been popping off a lot. And he'll like interview like just more like local like Seattle heads. Like he'll have something like with like Gifted Gab that's like was going viral, or like Travis Thompson that was going viral. I feel like he has a pretty good like brand with how he goes about it, you know what I mean, like how they go about it. And I feel like if other like Real Clip or like Friendly Fire or just even WCTV kind of like pick up on that,
it can start to like really
right, because it's like I said, like what we were saying earlier, how like artists will be like get asked these questions like, what does the city need? And it's like, we need to come together. It's like, oh my god, no, yes, but no. It's like, no shit. Because it's like, we need more venues. Because think about it, if you have all these artists and they're making money from shows or whatever the fuck it is that they do, right? think about all these like foreclosed buildings, all these fucking places in Seattle or like even like adjacent cities that are just like ready to be torn down or whatever. Why the fuck? It's like instead of fucking buying the fucking money, like buying like a fucking like car or some unnecessary bullshit.
You can make money off a venue, dude.
Fucking buy like a building and turn it into a venue, and it's like, and then start capitalizing. And then, cause think about it, a lot of these venues, man, like say, I don't know about the like all of them, but like think about it, like the median price is probably like $1,000 for some of these places. You know what I mean? Say like you want to go to like Nectar Lounge. I know it's like $800 for a night, and the thing is, you got to be like somewhat popping before you could pay that $1,000. You know what I mean? So it's like, think about it. It's like a lot of these artists are like fumbling their own bags because why? They for fucking clout. And it's like but then like come back and complain how there's no love in the city. And it's like, bro,
it's the biggest fucking record skipper in the world. They just keep saying the same. You're right. They repeat the same shit, but where's the solution, bro? Do you have a solution?
Right. So it's like, and then it's like a lot of these, and then it's like, why don't you put money towards these like media platforms that have put you on in the past, you know? Say like you guys interview somebody and then they go fucking like viral or famous or whatever. Why not take some of that money, put it back into your guys' brand? So then now that you guys can like say like get a space or like more equipment or whatever, right? Whatever you guys choose to do with it to elevate your brand. Not only will the next time they come on, now your brand is solidified, like, oh shit, it's growing, because people like seeing the growth, you know? People can only follow the journey for so long until they get bored of it. You know what I mean? Like,
if there's no growth, there's nothing to watch, right?
Right. And it's like, and I've experienced it. Like, I'll put out shit that I think is so fucking dope for like weeks on end, but then people will be like, okay, so are you gonna do a show? Are you gonna drop an EP? Are you gonna fucking have a big feature? Like, this is the same shit, and people get bored because the novelty sort of dies out. So, but like I said, you know, a lot of these artists have the power to give back, and then not only you know, build other people's brands, but they can build their own. And like I feel like that's where the bag fumbling fucking begins. So whenever I hear like an artist like start saying shit like, oh yeah, the city needs to come together because of this, there's so much hate, or this, that, and the third, and it's like, you don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. For real, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, because it's like you're only dealing with things on a surface level, you know. But once you're really into it, like I feel like I'm really into it, and I've been seeing things. Like, I've been on the forefront and I've been behind the scenes, because like before I really got into putting out music professionally, I was I have a brand called Todo Vista where I take pictures of artists. So concert photography, album covers, I've done all of it. And I've shot hella music videos. I've done so much fucking music videos. Jay Fitty's fucking most viral like music video is my doing. You know what I mean? So it's like,
you guys clairvoyance, right? Yeah,
clairvoyance, man. Shout out to you, Jay Fitty, man. That shit was fucking fire, man.
Yeah, it was fire, bro.
And
we were supposed to do a reaction to that video. I told him when he had come.
We were actually supposed to go to that video show.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. We were, James was like
at the BBC.
James was like, "Hey, bro, I'm shooting a video this week with you," and he was like, "Hey, come through and meet us." So we're like that night. I think I was sick or Justin got sick or something. Something happened, and I was like, "Hey, he'll understand." I messaged him too, like, "Hey, bro, my bad, man. But we were supposed to be there, bro. So,
oh man, that would have been epic.
We were killing it with you guys, dude. So
that would have been so fucking epic, man. I've had and there was a lot of people behind the scenes that were there too. You know, other characters, but
I'm actually kind of the opposite of what you're talking about. I kind of think the city needs like a diss track or a beef or something, bro. I was telling Emily that earlier. Straight out, I said, I was like, "Hey, why doesn't someone just
it's so boring now."
No, she said, "Why don't you just
somebody needs to fucking die?" That's what you're saying.
She was like, "Oh, why don't you start it then?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" She goes, "Why don't you just come out with a diss track?" I was like, "Because people aren't gonna. They're gonna start taking their guns out and not fighting people." And I'm just trying to.
I wrote a diss track. I wrote a diss track towards like all the fucking like people that like taken advantage of me or like disregarded me, like other podcasts. Like, so before you reached out to me, there were other podcasts that I was trying to get on, and like the same responses, like either I got ghosted or the responses were like some sort of variation of like, oh well, come back when you're a little bit more poppin', or maybe like the branding is not really, it doesn't make sense, or like I've had artists like,
you'll never catch me saying some shit like that, bro. Sorry, I just
no, it's all good. And I have like, who else have I? Let me see. So I've dissed like a lot of. I shared it on my story. But like the song, it's called Petty, and I'm petty because it's like I said, in this industry, you deal with so much bullshit, so many fucking assholes, and just fucking people will switch up on you and
hella quick, bro.
Real quick, like think about it. The only reason that like I exist is because this other people I've worked with help get me there. But then after a while, those same motherfuckers will look at me and be like, "Look, man, you're not selling tickets. Nobody really, like you're not really pulling a crowd or this and that." And I'm like, listen, bitch, I just started this whole fucking thing. I just started my whole fucking career. These kids, you're hiring a bunch of kids, and think about kids like 18 and under and other 21 and under. Of course, they still have that curiosity. They aren't fucking like destroyed by the daily 9 to 5s and then fucking shit.
Real, but by the time destroyed by life already, bro.
And think about it. I'm like, you're 30. I'm almost pushing 30. And it's like, think about it. A lot of people like our age have don't care. They don't give a fuck about already, bro. They don't give a shit about this shit no more.
A lot of people like will look at what we do. I know, like, fucking probably, like, her dad and Dread and all that, like, you could get a real job, that's it. But, like, bro, like, there's my job, you know what I mean? But I hate that perception. The younger people, they haven't gone through that yet. They haven't paid their, like, dues to that point. Right? So I wholeheartedly agree with that, bro. And, hey, to the people who watch us and, like, the people on TikTok and YouTube and all that, I really don't vouch for people like that a lot. You guys know that. I really don't. But go fucking stream his music, dude. We will put the links in the description. I don't really vouch for people, bro. Yes. I really don't. But please go stream his shit, dude. I will put the link in the description. It's awesome. And I don't really say that about a lot of people because whatever. But I do. I feel that.
I hate everyone.
Yeah, I think.
Well, I don't, but yeah.
I think everything down to production, aesthetic, the sound. I play you in my car, and like,
yeah, if I play you in the car, that's how you know I fuck with you, bro. But that's it right there.
I've played people that like I know. I've played their music in the car, and like my girlfriend would ask me like, "Who is it?" As in like, who is it that you're playing that you know? Because like this isn't somebody that whatever.
I know.
Yeah,
they'll mention that as like a. Because they know it's not a professional song.
Do you play us in the car? When I play us in the car?
I don't listen to myself in the car. No, but I've played you music in the car, and like, I don't get that comment. Like,
he acts like he's never fucked to his own song before.
I definitely haven't. But I know
you have, bro.
I've also put you on to some of my friends. As well. Like, hey, check out this dude. Like, he's from here. I like the sound. Like, you might like it. It's just like word of mouth type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that you have the sound that. If the people that are watching or listening, if they've never heard you, they definitely should because it's fresh, it's professional sounding.
I try to be
You're
different.
You're not gonna get like somebody who's like
who takes 3 fucking hours for one verse. Yeah, you know who you are, dude.
Even though like you've said yourself that you're new to it, you wouldn't tell by making listening to the projects you made.
So I'm new. I guess I'm more new in the sense that like I feel like I've like. It's kind of like a more like a rebranding for the most part. I've always made music since I was like a kid. My background stems from musically. It stems from like when my mom signed me up for orchestra. So I did orchestra in the 4th grade all the way till 8th grade. And then when I hit the 8th grade, I was like, man, fuck this shit. This shit's for nerds. Da 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 da. I'm not getting no bitches like this. Like I was like so stupid.
Yeah, Mozart probably got bitches, bro. So
bro, and it's like
we didn't know back then. We didn't know,
bro. Like at the time, because I went to like 3 different middle schools. So 6th grade it was a different middle school. 7th grade was a middle school. So it's like every experience I never really got to like properly make like real friends. So especially in orchestra, you know, it's like yeah, it was a trip. So like by the time I hit 8th grade, I was like, fuck this shit. But then that's when I discovered making beats, because I was like, man, because me and the homies were like rapping. I had beats like I downloaded like off LimeWire that I ended up downloading onto my PSP and shit. And we would rap at the lunch line or in lunchtime and shit. And then I was like, man, I gotta start making beats, man, because I don't like some of these beats. And I learned through that, and then and then we started making songs and officially like recording songs. Like I have old EPs. You guys can find them on YouTube right fucking now under a different name.
Oh, really?
Under a different fucking name. I'll tell you guys off camera.
Sauce Montana.
And like it was like me rapping over beats I've made, and there was projects I made for other homies, and this was 2010 to 2013 we were doing it. And then after that, after high school, I graduated in 2013. After that, I went to Shoreline for their music program, and I dropped out because I crashed my Beamer.
For some reason, when you said Shoreline, I thought of like OGZ, and for some reason, it's like, wow, they're teachers. I didn't know that.
I went to Shoreline Community College, yeah. And they have like the biggest music like fucking courses in the fucking state. Yeah. and fun fact, the guy that sang on the fucking song Thrift Shop on the $20 in my pocket, that refrain, I think he was a teacher at fucking Shoreline.
Really?
Safe to say he's not a fucking teacher anymore,
yeah,
most
bro.
likely.
Justin, do you remember one time I tried to take my car to a mechanic? Were you there when he was like, bro, I fucking sold meth to Ryan Lewis and Macklemore in high school. Yeah. Remember that shit? That was like cringy as fuck, dude. We had like a mechanic, right? He was supposed to be fixing my head gasket. Like, you know, like, he seemed cool at first too. Like he was cool, bro. And this guy's like, bro, Macklemore, I knew them in high school. I used to sell them meth. I was like, wow, cool, man.
It was like, yeah, okay, my tire is fucking flat. You mentioned
Thrift Shop, right? Yeah. And I think something about Thrift Shop got brought up, and he's like, yo, bro, I used to go to high school with them, and I sold to them. I was like, oh wow, where's my head gasket?
I always hate that type of like notion. I always hate when people like when people blow up, and then people are like, I used to go to school with them. I used to know them. It's like, well, you're not fucking hanging out with them at the fucking Grammys and shit. Like you didn't really know them. You just knew them from fucking passing.
Oh, there's always like some weird like oh bro, I had a sleepover with them, or the meth thing he was talking about. Like, bro, that's like such a weird random thing to tell somebody.
Right, like that's not like something to really be proud of. It's like, why are you telling me this as you're like
working on my car? Like maybe you shouldn't be working on my car, bud.
Speaking of cars, I recently got a flat tire, man. And like honestly, before I got the flat tire, I was like so negative. Like the past like 2 weeks, I was like such a negative like Nancy.
You think that's what caused it, or?
Well, and I feel like fucking like the universe has a funny way of working itself out. It was like, I'm gonna give this motherfucker a flat tire so he shuts the fuck up. And I got the flat tire. And I remember I was doing Uber Eats. I was delivering Uber Eats because that's what I'll do. Mm-hmm. And I'm like delivering like pho or some shit. And I'm like, I was like delivering pho or some shit. And I noticed as I'm like getting back, I'm like, there's a fucking screw in my tire. And I swear this is a fucking metaphor for my fucking life right now. And then you know, after that, you know, like, things magically worked out. Apparently I had a warranty on that fucking tire, and got it replaced, and you know, I'm solid
right now, man.
I'm chilling right now. Yeah.
We you mentioned earlier X, you know, XXX.
Mm-hmm.
And so some of the stuff that I do on this channel, we talk about like, you know, fun stuff, conspiracy stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff that kind of provokes the mind.
Yeah.
When you mentioned him though, one of the things I did want to talk to you about today was the theory around him. Okay. And it's specifically about whether or not you think Drake either killed him or got him killed. Mm-hmm. And the only creepy thing I think kind of surrounding that is the song I'm Upset. When Drake said, you know, shoot below the neck, that's the only time, you know, that are you familiar with that?
No, I don't think so.
I think
I know the song, but I've not like never really.
he mentions this. He goes X X X in the song, SMS triple X. That's the only time you shoot below the neck. Justin's probably looking up the lyrics right now, but that was the only time in my head when that theory came out. I was like, bro, maybe, dude.
He said SMS triple X, which SMS is a form of text messaging. So he says SMS triple X. That's the only time I ever shoot below the neck.
Why you keep on shooting if you know he's dead?
Yeah.
Huh.
So this was after X died when the song came out.
Also on Sicko Mode, he says, my dog will probably do it for a Louis belt. He's talking about like,
Like kill somebody.
Yeah, and that's what X got
Was
killed
wearing.
over. He was trying to get it was a Louis bag. I guess that they were trying to get from him that had money in it.
Holy shit.
So
My cousin
that's kind of why Josh hates Drake.
Yeah, my cousin won't listen to Drake because for a multitude of reasons, but he thinks that he had him killed because Drake has a song called "Kiss My Teeth." Well, it's KMT, and the flow that he uses in the beginning of that song
is
"Look at Me" from
X.
"Look at Me" by X.
Yeah.
So they had a little beef over that.
Yeah,
He
I
thinks
remember
that. He
that.
stole that from him.
I remember that. Yeah.
And then he thinks that off of that beef, Drake had him killed. So like my cousin just won't listen to him for one of those reasons because he thinks that that's a valid thing.
I feel like it could be like more of an indirect thing because it's crazy because like think of like a lot of these like young kids nowadays because wasn't it like kind of like younger kids that like killed X, right? Wasn't it younger guy?
I know that they found out who it was. I can actually just look it up right now.
Yeah.
But they know who it was, and I think it was somebody around his age.
They got arrested for it, yeah.
Yeah, so like I feel like think about it, like a lot of kids nowadays, struggle with their identity, or just people in general. They struggle with their identity and like fitting in because like like their what's the word? Their reputation is all that they fucking have, and some people really take like stuff like music to heart, like serious, or movies. Like growing up, I thought like a lot of the shit like that happened on movies was like for real, and growing up I had no game because of that because all my shit was from like fucking movies.
Yeah, so he was 20 when he died. Sorry to interrupt you. He was 20 when he died, and his killer was 22. So
Right.
they were around the same age.
Right. So it's like think around that time, before like around that like that age seems about right because it's like around that time it's like you want to prove that like you're like big shot, like that you're you're young, you're doing it, you're doing this shit, and like maybe it was just like wrong, and I feel like it could be more or less like a coincidence, but at the same time it was kind of like if you are so invested in this person's location that you're gonna go and fucking end their life, you must be diving a little bit deep into like whatever they're doing or whatever they're getting into. So I feel like maybe the thing is I don't think Drake necessarily was like calling any shots per se. I feel like it was more like of an indirect thing where somebody was just like, you know what, fuck this guy, like the beef was so fucking
I think Drake was just trolling after he died.
I
think he chose his words very carefully.
See, and that's the thing, and it's like with his new album with like him saying stallion and shit like that. I feel like he says that because he knows like it's gonna get people talking and shit like that. So like if that's the case, if Drake made those songs after he passed, or think about it, sometimes songs sit in the vault for a long time before they get passed. So maybe he might have made these songs as a diss, to X, like what's the word? Not subconsciously, but like they're just like throwing subs at him and shit. And then thinking about it, he's probably like, and like when it got released, it was probably like more or less like, I'm just gonna release it, fuck it, or the management was just like, just fucking release it, bro.
Put it out.
We've already put enough money into it. You owe us money. You know what I mean?
He might be one of the only rappers, bro, honestly, that like his fans, and I'm one of them. I'm one of his fans, and Justin, I think for sure we all are, but I'm like a huge fucking Drake fan. he gets away with a lot because his fans just brush past a lot of the shit. And one of the things I wanted to mention was I did some research into this the last couple of days because I wanted to articulate this well. But it's another rap theory or conspiracy that doesn't get talked about, in my opinion. So you know how his brand is like OVO, the owl?
Yeah.
So I mentioned this to you earlier today.
Yeah.
But how big into conspiracies are you? Like, so if I say like the Bohemian Grove or like that type of shit, would you know what I'm talking about?
I'm not like super deep into it, but like I don't know. I'm more like into like, as far as like conspiracies, like I'm more into conspiracies when it comes to like movies or like video games. But as far as like, or yeah, I guess celebrity culture, but like it's never like really recent celebrity culture. It's always like something that happened in the past, and I'm
Same
always
here.
like, oh shit, what the fuck happened to the fucking queen?
Yeah, same here. So his brand's the owl. There's a god. So at the Bohemian Grove, there's a statue of a huge owl, right? And it's a god that devours children, and it's called Molech.
Oh shit.
It's the symbol for Molech. So usually when you look up Molech, it's usually like a bull, or it's like a statue of a bull and kind of like a bull / guy.
Uh-huh.
But a lot of the things that I looked up, it's the symbol for him is the owl.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you know how there's like rumors of like Drake and like underage girls, which it's never been.
Oh, like they say that with Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah,
and
like
shit.
there's
Yeah.
always like it was been multiple people, I think, that they've tried to pin that allegation on him for. He even has a song called Teenage, what is it called? It's in Teenage Fever or some shit.
Yeah.
Which I always thought was like, whoa, bro, what are you, Drake? I love you, dog. But why'd you name it Teenage Fever? I mean, I wouldn't have named it that, but so yeah, they worship this god that like they sacrifice children to. And I always thought it was strange how like the biggest rapper in the world, his brand is an owl, and he always says like the 6, and especially in that song. What's that song that you Summer 16? In Summer 16, he mentions like 666.
Well, that's the.
Well, I know, but it's because where he's from, right? But what the coincidence that you said it that 3 times, that you said the 6 3 times, knowing that that's what that means.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I get it. That's where he's from, but like I'm just saying, like it's all really coincidental.
Yeah.
Like if you really look into it, bro, like there might be something there, dude.
Yeah.
And like again, I'm saying this as like a huge Drake fan. Like I'm a huge Drake fan, but like, isn't it kind of a coincidence that his brand is the owl, but that's what the owl's known for?
Yeah.
And like the like elitist weird people group.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like, you know, it's crazy. It's like when I feel like when you get to that level of like fame and like just money and shit, they're just all into fucking weird shit, man. Like, and it's like accepted. It's like socially accepted.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's like, say like you're like some like rich kid, you know, think of like Will Smith's kid, fucking Jaden. He's just like a weird kid. But it's socially accepted within his community, you know. It's like, oh yeah, like that's just how he is, you know. And you know, you're not gonna argue against it. But then when you have people who are like insanely like just rich and famous and this and that, you know what I mean? It wouldn't stray too far from you know, all these allegations or these like conspiracies, because like at the end of the day, you know, like that's what they live off of. They feed off of that shit. And it's like, and like, look at like Jay-Z, you know, like we were talking, I remember you mentioned bringing up Jay-Z earlier to me, and his whole thing was like
The Illuminati.
the Illuminati. And I was really into that shit growing up.
Yeah, me and him, I think it was around like 2010.
We were huge into that, yeah.
It was kind of like when like you first discover like the internet and YouTube. And, you know, I mean, at least for us at that age, because we didn't really grow up with like phones and shit like that.
That shit used to blow my mind, bro.
But like we would watch videos of just like Jay-Z throwing up the triangle and you know, subliminal imagery in his like videos and everything like that. And we really fucking believed for like maybe like a year.
Me too.
Yeah, well,
this
is like Rihanna
some...
has a video where like it's like a bunch of sticky notes behind her, and like one of the sticky notes literally says the Queen of the Illuminati, bro. Like that literally, like it says that in the video. So like, but what I think is happening is they troll people.
Yeah.
Like maybe, well, maybe they're not trolling. Maybe we think they're trolling, but they're really you know what I
they
mean?
do
Like,
troll. I feel like they are. I feel like they're self-aware for sure. But
they know people like make YouTube videos about it and shit.
but you know what I mean? Like, and I feel like a lot of these like when you give like a lot of these conspiracy theories, and then once they start like fucking like they're like, oh, this makes sense and this makes sense and this makes sense. Sometimes like I feel like people hear these things and they start thinking like, oh well, I might as well just feed into it, you know? Like have you guys ever heard of like the Pixar theory?
Oh yeah, bro.
Yeah. So then I'm pretty sure Pixar is probably at some point like fucking like, well, this guy's doing the fucking job for us. You know what I mean?
Literally.
You know, so it's like, and then at some point, you know, they're probably going to capitalize off of that shit later on, you know, when it benefits them. So then a lot of these artists, I feel like they hear all these fucking things. They're like, yeah, you know what? Fuck it. We're going to run with it.
Yeah, and it kind of ties back to the Drake thing. Like,
Yeah.
That Drake thing though to me that makes sense to me. I don't want to say like he's in some like weird pedo elite group, but like that group's symbol is an owl. The owl is a symbol of a god that devours children. And like their whole thing is like the devil and Lucifer and 666, and that's literally what fucking Drake says in songs. And that's literally his brand. I'm sorry, he's the biggest rapper in the world, and his brand's an owl.
Yeah.
And you're gonna so he would probably be like, oh, that's a coincidence. That's a big fucking coincidence to me, dude.
Yeah.
So, but I'm not like again. I'm not saying Drake. Sorry, Drake. I'm not saying that's what you're doing. But that's another one where like that's kind of hard to fucking brush off, in my opinion. I know people think I'm crazy, but like, it's like, bro, like, and this is coming from someone who's like, I literally will like, I argue against my best friend every day about.
You got to think about it. I was just talking about this shit with my girlfriend and like my brother. I was like, you know, this guy Drake, especially now, you got to think about it because a lot of these ideas can't probably aren't too far fetched. Because think about it, in his newest project, he's out here like the most misogynistic we've ever fucking heard this guy ever.
Yeah, he was killing the misogynistic words then.
And just fucking going off. And then like
he said, I be in and out, y'all be in and out recessions like I'm in and out of Texas or some shit like that. We were talking about girls. I was like, the way I'm in and out of best friends, I was like, bro, what, dude?
Listen, he is so misogynistic in the shit. And it's like, at the end of the day, man, like I feel like people are just so reflective of like their environment and say like Drake, think about it, like how you were just saying like the symbols and just like all these other like
and the
just,
stuff that's tied down with like the underage girls and all that
right
stuff, yeah.
Think about it, you hear this shit all the time with a lot of these corporate types and shit, you know, and you gotta consider like his background, his upbringing and shit. You gotta think about who he grew up around and shit,
and
and
what he's connected to,
right? Yeah, and then what he might have perceived as normal, you know, and think about it. And then the fact that you're so rich and famous and you are considered like number one, like all the fucking time and shit. I feel like at that point your narcissism is just through the fucking roof to the point where it's like you feel like you'll just do whatever like whatever.
That must be a crazy type of narcissism to be around, bro. I don't know if I'd be able to do it.
Right. Like, and I feel like Kanye has like such a bad like level of narcissism. Like at first I was like, I used to idolize it because I'm like, I used to feel like I was pretty narcissist. I am pretty narcissistic, but it's like mine more or less it was like a fight or flight type of narcissism, you know. It's like you learn to, when you grow up like being the underdog and bullied and shit, you have to be your biggest fan. So it's like you build this fucking like narcissism. I feel like Kanye.
I just got clowned on the other day by my girlfriend because I fucking literally said that to her, dude. I said I was like, yeah, I'm narcissistic, but it's because I grew up being bullied. No one gives me props. No one says good job. No one says they're proud of you. You have to fucking say that to yourself. So you have to be proud of yourself and congratulate yourself and pump yourself up.
Exactly.
To the point where you become like a narcissist.
Exactly.
Yeah, dude.
But like and if that's the case, our narcissism is more of a fight or flight narcissism. You know, we built that from scratch. Other people like say like Drake from the very beginning is at least a lot of the things I've seen about him, like from when he's a kid. Think about it. He grew up in like a Jewish household and shit. and he's always been around media and entertainment. So it's like
the TV show Degrassi and all that.
Degrassi show. It's just like his whole life. He's always just been like, "You're great. You're doing great. You're doing great." And you live with this level of positive, positive narcissism, or like you get this positive level. Yeah, I'm pretty great. I'm pretty awesome. You know,
cool a little bit. You know,
I get some pussy here and there.
Yeah, so it's like the narcissism hits a little different. You know, when like you have to fucking make it from scratch, bro. You know,
right? And then so like I feel like for him, you know, like I said, all the stuff that you claimed are probably not too far-fetched, because like maybe in his eyes he doesn't see
that. I just think
it's wrong.
I just think it's crazy, but I mean, honestly, like, you know what I mean? Like, our brand is like the wolf, right? Like, we have like the wolf, but if there was like all that stuff that I'm talking about for us, I'd have to take a second, like, whoa, bro, what? Dude, that's crazy that I just chose everything that symbolizes devil worshipping or some shit.
Yeah.
That'd be fucking crazy, bro. I don't know how to. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think I've ever heard anybody talk about that. How his brand's like the owl, but then like the owl's the god that gets children sacrificed to it.
That's definitely a new one for me.
You should look into it when you get on, bro. If you have time, it's
for sure.
The whole Bohemian Grove shit. The whole Bohemian Grove shit. Like that whole like shit is a real thing, by the way.
Definitely look into it.
I don't even know if it's a conspiracy theory anymore.
No,
it's like fucking real, bro. So like. And like it's so out in the open about it that like I'm surprised more people don't like, hey, why are all the world's biggest leaders getting butt naked in the woods right now? You know what I mean? Like, why are they all like dressing up in drag and like kissing each other? What the fuck's going on?
There is some wild.
And these people are making decisions about our life. Actually, they're affecting our lives and what we do. Like now I want to know, like, hey, maybe I want to dress in drag and make decisions.
They do have like these secret little clubs. I remember I was watching a video. It was like these like expensive clubs, secret clubs, and that only the world's elite can get into and shit. And so it's probably not too far fetched, you know. Like I said, once you get so rich and famous, or if you like grow up already pretty like affluent in your background, you know, we all know people who grow up like pretty affluent, like are so fucking oblivious to certain things.
Yeah, dude.
Oh my god, like my girlfriend will like when she went to church, like she went to church with a lot of people who were like obviously are pretty privileged and affluent, you know, and it's just like they're just so weird because it's like they'll try like because she's like a woman and shit, like they'll try and like manipulate her or like come give me a hug, or it's like, and I'm like, don't give this fucking weirdo a hug. Fuck him.
The church people sometimes they be going.
I've gotten into a lot of beefs into that shit. You know, I'm atheist, but it's like at the end of the day, it's like
there's other people. I almost had to fade Justin's fucking barber one time which is bars, by the way, fade the barber, but
we'll have to save it for another time.
Oh, we're running low.
Yeah, we're kind of running short.
Oh, so yeah, I mean,
to wrap it up, thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you for but hey, I had fucking fun, dude.
Yeah, me too.
I had fun listening to you. That's the first time that I've ever like been. This is probably the most quiet I've ever been, bro.
For real.
You're good at like talking and storytelling, bro. I felt like I was being interviewed. Dude. I felt like I was in the fucking audience or something, bro.
It was the wine. It took over.
Yeah, and I'm not even drunk, bro. I was just like enjoying the show, dog. I was like, what? Yeah, guys, like I said before, stream his music. We will put the link in the description. And until next time.
Do you have anything to sign off with?
Shout out to my guys, man. Thank you for bringing me on, man. And check out the new EP. We've been here before. I'm AMANTE'S Cruz. Definitely check it out if you're into like alternative, indie, and just pop type shit. You know, I do rap a little bit, and you know the deal.
Yeah, I prematurely did that, so. But yeah, what he said. And until next time, peace.